Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about it. WWE Triple H responding to the Vince McMahon allegations. Also, SummerSlam is here. Let's talk about some major surprises and some invites along the way. It's all coming up right here, right now on TAS. All right, guys, if you want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This way you never miss a video on the channel. I want to kick things off with Brie Bella. As you guys know, Brie Bella for a while, we thought maybe the relationship between her and WWE is not so solid. Maybe there's some issues there. Obviously, this was a very big thing because of the fact that Brie Bella has, come out and said because of Bryan Danielson being in AEW, she can't be at WWE. They haven't called her, anything like that. Well, on her podcast, she did confirm that she will be in attendance. Her and Nikki Bella have confirmed they will be attending SummerSlam this week, and they'll be watching the show. They'll be in the crowd. And Brie Bella specifically mentioned that she was called and invited. She'll be in a suite, free alcohol, that sort of thing. And that's obviously really cool. The reason why I'm even talking about this is because the Brie Bella WWE relationship was very questionable, especially after comments, about Bryan Danielson being in AEW, that kind of thing. You don't want to hear of WWE and Brie Bella having an issue just because her husband works for AEW. Like, I'm sorry, but we saw the thing with Rhea Ripley is a top star in WWE. Her husband is literally a wrestler in AEW who used to be a wrestler in WWE. And I just didn't find that acceptable from WWE. So that's kind of why I'm bringing you guys this update, and that's why I'm actually happy to hear the news that Brie Bella will be there. Now, of course, in terms of Brie and Nikki Bella being on screen doing anything, maybe it's a crowd shot, maybe Brie Bella and Nikki Bella get physical. We got the Women's Tag Team Championship belts. There's obviously a lot to consider there, which I think it would make sense, right? If you have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss or the Judgment Day, whoever wins the belt goes face-to-face with the Bella Twins. That's a program that you can set up for Clash in Paris, whatever it may be. It makes a lot of sense. And one thing I'll say, too, is I feel like sometimes when it comes to the relationship with WWE and certain wrestlers, it does feel like sometimes there's people who, they go and venture away from WWE, and historically speaking, WWE will allow them to come back. Obviously, CM Punk is a very big example of this. Hulk Hogan was a big example of this. There's so many examples of this where people didn't have a good relationship and WWE still brought them back. However, we knew that to be more of a thing under Vince McMahon. As far as Triple H and TKO and how they do things today, that's obviously a very big part of the conversation, is how are they going to treat it when there's maybe bridges burned. And I don't necessarily think there's going to be a change in that philosophy. What is best for business is best for business, and that's how they'll move forward. That brings us to the final boss. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation that The Rock is returning at SummerSlam, which obviously could make a lot of sense based on the last angle we saw with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Of course, this is a very, very big talking point because with SummerSlam coming into play, we have to understand that WWE is either swerving everybody or they're swerving everybody. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The main event on night 2 is Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Cody Rhodes kind of been teasing a heel turn lately. There's a lot of signs that point to him turning heel, which is very intriguing, but I don't know if WWE should truly commit to that. And then on the flip side of that, you have John Cena, who essentially became a babyface on SmackDown. And the way that they did it tells me there's a swerve coming, no matter what. So there's a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of rumors too, but they have strengthened so quickly after last night's SmackDown. Travis Scott is obviously not in the picture with WWE. We understand that. We know that. But what is this situation currently on hand with The Rock returning? Does he have Cody sell his soul to him? And that's the reason why John Cena and everybody, that's the reason why John Cena was abandoned. I don't know. That's a very big conversation piece. What if John Cena knows that Cody's weakness is believing everything that people say, and therefore John Cena said these remarks to look like a babyface only for him to actually win in some other way? And that is what I am so intrigued by, because The Rock coming back could help elevate both stories. Whether it's John Cena as a heel or Cody Rhodes as a heel, I think it would be massive. Now, the idea of Cody Rhodes turning heel is an interesting one, because we have seen Cody Rhodes be the babyface against Roman Reigns. At some point, I think we need to have Roman versus Cody again. What if Cody is the heel and Roman is the babyface? And that's what we get for WrestleMania 42. Again, I don't know what to expect here, but the ideas are endless, and it is really intriguing to me to see that it's even a remote possibility. And what's so crazy, and I want to throw this out there because I genuinely believe in my heart this is the truth, and I have a very big problem with this. I do not like the fact that The Rock shows up and then kind of goes away for a little bit. But if this was the plan the entire time, which it's possible, if you listen to John Cena's words, John Cena said it himself that, he to make shocking TV and then he was left alone. If that was all part of the plan, it literally makes sense in so many ways because that means The Rock didn't need to be there 24/7 to be part of the TV program. And on top of that, whenever he was ready to return, it makes the moment much more impactful. I know this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people. I don't know how much WWE thought of this in advance, and I'm not trying to give them credit until we see what happens. But if The Rock shows up, I feel like WWE knew what they were doing the entire time. And that brings us to our final topic. Triple H has responded to the Vince McMahon allegations in probably the most professional way he has ever done so before. He was doing an interview with a podcast called The Sports Agents. It's in the UK. It's an exclusive interview where he talked about the complexity of the situation with Vince McMahon and the Janelle Grant lawsuit. But the big thing that Triple H did was really emphasize moving forward. And honestly, I know some people are going to give him backlash here. I think he handled this the right way. He says, all we can do is move forward for us as a company, creative. All we could do is move forward, and allegations are allegations, right? It's a complicated relationship for anybody in life. Nobody is perfect. Accusations are made, and that's a whole legal thing that is totally separate and aside from what we do. Now, I know people hate this, but the reality is Triple H is the chief creative officer of the WWE. Triple H has a different job role in the WWE. He is not a legal guy. He is also the son-in-law of the person who had the accusations. The Vince McMahon allegations are delicate, they're sensitive, and they're serious. And the thing is, you guys, I think many people have seen how Triple H has responded in the past, and it's obviously a tough situation, but Triple H isn't the guy being accused of anything. And what's crazy is when he's not being accused of anything, you have people on social media who are coming out with their fantasy booking theories on Triple H's involvement or this and that, and it's such a ridiculous thing. And at the end of the day, what I've really come to realize is that Triple H and the WWE, it's a lose-lose situation when handling this. If you say no comment or if you say you haven't read it, people are going to beat you up about it. And then if you say you read it and you don't condone it, dude, there's a whole process legally that is going down. And obviously that's what matters. And Triple H is right. His job is to move forward and keep WWE's creative at the best. I know this is not the answers that everybody wants to hear, but that's the reality. Now the United States has a court system that's taking care of it, and then we'll see what happens after that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Ango Show.